YouTube and social media at the moment are flooded with those finance bros telling you need to escape the 9 to 5, escape the matrix, build passive income, retire at 30. But that isn't entirely realistic. And what if the real secret isn't really about escaping work, but about enjoying it? So today I'm going to talk about why enjoying your work matters, what those little finance gurus get right, and what they're forgetting from the bigger picture. So I think enjoying work is an important thing. And let me clear up first, it doesn't matter what that is, whether you are a finance guru business owner who's chasing to become a millionaire, or whether you're just a dude in your 9 to 5 and listening to all this shit online is making you question whether you've taken the right path. I think you have to ask yourself, are you happy? Because if you are happy with what you do, then you're already ahead of 99.9% of people. Because the amount of stress and negativity that comes with doing something that you don't enjoy will drag you down, no matter how fulfilled you are in the rest of your life or how much money you have. Obviously, it's great to be financially free, and everyone should strive to get there, and I'll talk about that later. But really, it's so important to enjoy what you do, because the health benefits you get from it, like, you'll be less stressed, you'll be more relaxed, you'll just be in a better place, you'll find meaning in little things, you'll be more motivated, you'll be more creative, and your whole life will just feel clearer. And that has a ripple effect on, people you work with, or your family, your friends, whatever it may be. And I know it isn't always that straightforward, particularly if you're, enjoying your job, but there's aspects of it like a shitty boss or whatever. And that's fair enough, and we'll get to that. But first I want to talk about your finance bros on YouTube and the finance bro epidemic, because it's probably gotten a bit extreme, whether it's crypto guys telling you you're going to be a millionaire, or, some dude telling you need to start a business and fucking network and all this shit. And if that sounds a bit, I suppose, off-putting to you, that's okay, because it isn't a lifestyle that's going to suit everyone, and it is not a one-size-shoe-fits-all. It really isn't. Now, they're right, because money does matter. Money matters quite a lot, because depending obviously on where you are in the world, if you're unfortunate enough to be in the USA, you got to worry about healthcare, among other things. But at the end of the day, money's going to allow you to enjoy your life outside of work. But if you can find meaning and joy in work, then you're going to be doing pretty okay, because most of your time is spent working. At least if you've got your, traditional 9 to 5, or even, if you're starting out early in a business and you've got to put in a lot of groundwork to get to where you want to be. Whatever it may be, you need to enjoy what you're doing. And I think where the finance gurus are absolutely spot on is generating passive income. And I'm obviously not a financial advisor, so I'm not going to be giving out financial advice here, but they're right in saying you should find ways of creating passive income. And I think particularly stocks and dividend paying stocks are obviously a huge asset there, and dividend paying ETFs. I mean, they're going to give you passive income, and it's a way somewhere you can, invest your savings and get a much better return on investment than you ordinarily would. And they obviously, our finance bro friends, they do a good job of highlighting the trap of living paycheck to paycheck. And I think that is a huge important point to make, because if you are stuck in that situation, you're going to find it hard to enjoy your job no matter what you are doing. So it is important to have money, and they are right in that. And you should take some of their advice on board, but you don't need to be the next Steve Jobs or Bill Gates or Jeff Bezos or whatever. Like, you can just live a normal life and be financially comfortable and take pleasure in your work, and you will find that you will probably be happier than most of those people. Because where the finance gurus fall short is they treat work as a stepping stone to getting money and success and fame or whatever it is. And they tend to frame success as freedom from work rather than just saying, you could find meaning through work. And I think most of us anyway, are probably aware of the fact that we live in a society where we're all forced into work. And that's pretty outrageous when you think about it as its own concept, but that's obviously a different topic for a different day. That is the reality that we're faced with. So you've got to take some bit of it on board, but it doesn't mean you need to quit your job and, do things that aren't much more fulfilling than your job, but just make you financially free. Because at the same time, then, unless you're doing something that's going to let you retire by 30, which is a pretty unrealistic aim for most people, it's not making much of a difference. So I think for me, I find actually enjoying what I'm doing, even if it takes me till 50 to retire rather than 30, but I'm enjoying my job, I'm enjoying my work. That's pretty good. I mean, you can dismiss this advice if you want to, but I think the over focus on wealth really blinds people to the joy in everyday life and what it's all about. And it's about the relationships. It's about doing, creative. It's about the relationships. It's about doing creative things that you enjoy, and that is a big part of it. And if you can find that joy in your job the same way you enjoy hanging out with your friends or sitting down playing some Modern Warfare 3 Survival for some strange reason like me, then you're going to benefit from that. And I think it is really important to start thinking that way because, for me, sometimes just sitting down in a cafe, reading a book, having a nice cappuccino, that to me is really nice and I really enjoy that. That might be the case for you, that might not be, but that's okay. You can do that without being a millionaire. And there are so many things that you can do in life and enjoy without being a millionaire. You don't need to listen to everything the finance bros are telling you. And you can just enjoy your work. If you work a 9 to 5 and it makes you smile, then absolutely keep doing that. But they are also right in that you should find ways to be financially responsible. Whether that's investing your money in, things that are going to give you a return on investment, like, precious metals or particularly gold, because the market there is crazy at the moment, or if it's just stocks, ETFs, even a bit of crypto, if you want to dabble in that, by all means, you do you. Again, not financial advice. This is your own choice. I'm just telling you what I've done and what's worked for me. But it doesn't have to be misery. You don't have to hate your job just because the finance gurus tell you it's the wrong path. If you enjoy your job, then by all means do it. But do take some of their advice on board. Even if you're not in your dream job, and you can still find meaning in what you do. I mean, I suppose, taken a path where I'm trying to reach my dream job. I'm pretty much some of the way there already. And I work freelancing, which is also a huge benefit to not having a boss that's going to make my life hell every day in the office or whatever. But I enjoy my work. I could enjoy it more, but I really, really enjoy it. And that's important. And the phrase, you'll never work a day in your life, there's some truth to that. At least in my case, I feel like my job is so enjoyable that I just love the work I do, so it doesn't feel like work. But sometimes it does. Sometimes you're not in the mood to do something and you have to do it anyways because that's where you make your money. So it isn't perfect, but you can find meaning and enjoyment in that process. And if you've got something to aim for too, and there's a clear direction to get there. And I'm not just saying, you know, maybe not just a promotion, but if there's one particular project you want to do or something you want to create, you know, you can enjoy that process. It doesn't have to be a sludge. And like, if you end up spending like 40 years trying to escape work, you've wasted 40 years of your life. You know, even if you do end up getting there at the age of 50, and that's pretty bleak. So what I would say is try to find something you enjoy. Whether that's, you know, making content or running a business, if that's the case, then absolutely do that. But if you enjoy the work you do, don't take that for granted, because that is valuable. If you can get paid to do something that you enjoy, especially if it's something that you would do for free, obviously with limitations there, you're not going to do everything for free, but as in, if it's something you do for a hobby and you can get paid to do it, then that's a huge part of it. And that is one way to enjoy your work more. Like, connect your tasks to a bigger purpose. I mean, focus on your strengths, the things that you're good at and the things that give you satisfaction knowing you did a good job. Do you know, build strong relationships with people. You never know where it will take you. Enjoy the roller coaster of it, because that is great. Like, if you see your progress and it's fulfilling, you know, beyond your paycheck, if you see your progress in a specific field and your improvement, and that gives you satisfaction, then you're flying it. You really are. And it is important, like, beyond you, because if you enjoy your work, you're going to feel better. You're going to be happier. You're going to be in a better mood. You're going to be more open to things. You know, you're going to have better relationships with your friends and family. You'll be a better parent when the time comes. And, like, yes, you know, money does buy comfort. But if you've got meaning in work, it just really, you know, shapes who you are as a person. And that's what gives you long-term happiness. And I think that's where we get lost sometimes, is forgetting, you know, the real meaning to life. Because for all we know, we only get one shot at this. So, yeah, take some of what the finance gurus say, because they're not all wrong. But don't obsess either over the small details. Don't get too caught up in it, because, you know, there comes to a point where you can only get so much satisfaction for something. Chasing more and more money isn't going to make you happy. But appreciating where you are, how you've progressed, the fulfillment you get from the things that you do, that's what counts. And those are the things that are going to matter to you. Like, they're not wrong, finance bros. They're not. Money does give you options. It allows you to spend more time with friends and family and build these relationships. But getting there doesn't have to be a painful process either. You can enjoy it. And that is an important part of life. You know, look, at the end of the day, everyone's going to go their own way. We all have our own approaches, things we like. But try to find a way to do the things that you like. Because for me, I've found a career that I enjoy, that right now is the most important thing to me in my life, because it is so much fun. And I'm a privileged person to be able to say that. So, yeah, that's it for video number 3. Let me know in the comments if you think we should be aiming to escape work, or if we should be aiming to make it something that we enjoy, because I think that's a huge part too.